This is a pretty old paper, but what I did is went on YouTube and I noticed that there isn't a single video in all of YouTube that has gray dwarf stars mentioned. It's because it doesn't exist yet. Now, I wrote this paper back in 2013. It's almost 3 years ago, so I'm a bit harsh in my wording, but let's just get the point across here. Since the establishment does not understand that star evolution is planet formation itself, it is required to teach the reader about the intermediate stages and give a list of the objects that are in these stages. Gray dwarf stars are covered here. Now, I'm not going to read this out to you guys, but I do want to give you an example. I give a short list. Now, this is up to interpretation and this might change, but these are the objects that I at first considered to be gray dwarf stars. You have Kepler 35 Bravo, Kepler 58 Charlie, HD 85390 Bravo, GJ 433 Charlie, all the way down the line. It says here, the establishment calls these objects exoplanets, but now we know better. They are stars in intermediate stages of evolution. And you can't see it very well, but there's these little white dots all over here. The printer didn't turn out very well, but there's little white dots, so you have, your blue stars up here, and then your white, then your yellow stars, which are like the sun, that's right in the center, and you have your orange stars like Galaxy 581, and your red stars like Wolf 359, your auburn stars like VB10, Victor Bravo 10, and you have your brown dwarfs right here, and Jupiter Saturn should be like right here. And you have your gray stars, and that's like Kepler 35b, but then it drops off. You have your blue dwarf stars like Neptune and Uranus. You have your dark blues, like your water worlds, like GJ 1214 Bravo, and HD 215 497 Bravo. And you have black dwarfs. Now, dead stars, I guess, would be the ones that don't have any magnetic fields. But if they have even a tiny bit of a magnetic field, I guess you could call those black dwarfs. But I'm still trying to work on the differentiation between black dwarf and dead star. Hopefully somebody can help me clarify that definition-wise. But black dwarfs are the very end stages. And I want to go over this first before I get into the differences between black dwarfs inside of stellar metamorphosis and black dwarfs of establishment. And that, they are observed and all that good stuff. But I think the main point here is to realize that gray dwarf stars, they're right on the cusp of not shining in any sort of frequency strongly. The brown dwarf stars would be like the ones that radiate strongly in the infrared, but then they cool off to the point to where they're no longer visible with telescopes. And the atmosphere can only be determined by spectroscopy measurements when they pass in front of their host star, because they don't radiate anymore. And that's the cutoff point, like right about in this area right here. And then you have the stars becoming what astronomers call exoplanets, which is really, it needs to be replaced immediately because they clearly just forgot half of their diagram. They just cut it off right there, and then, I go over that in the previous talk, but anyways, gray dwarf stars, there they are. I don't know if you guys can see those names very well. I don't know if it's going to autofocus on those. But look at those, study them, try to understand them to the best of your ability, and study thermodynamics and how something like those can actually form from the earlier stages, which is brown dwarf stars and auburn dwarfs and all that good stuff. Alright, I made this video long enough. Today is May 22nd, 2016.